In today's video, fall decorating continues. Hey, it's Becca. Welcome to my channel. Now, this is what you call a boring blank slate. And as much as I'd love to decorate it all today, I think we're just going to focus on the mantle, starting with the focal point. Isn't this pretty? My mom actually painted it. She is an amazing artist. I saw it on the wall when I went to visit her, and it just really popped out just because it's fall. And of course, I wasn't going to ask her if I could have it, so what I did instead is I just took a picture of it. I uploaded that picture to Staples, and they printed it in a 24 by 30. Then I attached it to this canvas that I had on hand using a little bit of adhesive. So now it almost looks like, a border. Now, because this is a picture of her painting, it lost its authentic look. You don't see the brush marks. So I'm going to use the same technique that I used in last week's video using Mod Podge. I'll link that video down below in case you'd like to take a look. And we'll see what that does. So the purpose of using the Mod Podge is to add layers where it will help your painting or your picture or print look more like a painting. You can go vertically, horizontally. A sweet reader, Maggie, suggested going in X strokes. And you can use the brush of your choice. Here I'm just using a black sponge brush. Once those layers dried, I then went back and just stippled or stamped a little more of the Mod Podge on. Again, you're building layers and you're mimicking those brush strokes to help it look a little more authentic. Now that we have our focal point in place, we can finish decorating the mantle, but I thought we would, just for fun, try a few different looks. This first look is a very easy one. All I'm gonna do is place a candle at each end. See, this is a very simple, clean, classic look. It allows your canvas or artwork to be the focal point, and the candle holders are just a soft accent. I could go with white, or I could go with the brown ones. I think I like these a little bit better just because they pop against the white backdrop and they tie in nicely with the brown accents in the painting. Or I could go with black accents instead, adding these 3 metal candlesticks on each end. Of course, I'd have to find some candles for them, or I could leave them just like this. I really like how it ties in with the black accents in the painting. And if you're going for more of a Halloweenish look with the black and orange, this might be a really pretty choice. Now, while I like the candles on each end, I decided to go ahead and bring in a fall arrangement. I made that arrangement using colors to play off those in the print. I have these, along with these. They are a recent purchase, and I love the muted mustardy tones. And then these. I've had these for quite a few years, but I love that they've got the brown in them, but also the cream for a bit of contrast. I'm going to start with the mustard pieces. Went ahead and folded the bottoms up so that they'll fit down in the vase a little bit better. Now, while I could have the arrangement on one end and have the candles on the other for a more asymmetrical look, in the end, Symmetry 1 made another arrangement to somewhat match this one. I still need to mess with it a little bit, but I really like how the fall foliage just tends to flow. Now, I could just go ahead and leave it like this, but I want to have a little bit of fun. I love adding whimsy when I can. I found this recently, and this will either be destroyed by the cats or it's going to be a really fun accent. I know I need to unravel this a little bit more, but I just wanted you to see that it has 8 different light modes, it's battery operated, and it's really fun to work with. But now I need to add in some fall picks. I have a few of these that have the white pumpkins for contrast, but I like how the foliage ties in with that up in the print. And then I have some more of these that will tie in with those that are in the fall arrangements. Now before I place any more picks, I want to add my centerpiece, which is this cutie. I just don't want him to get knocked off, but I need to see what he's going to look like placement-wise before I add more picks. Now I can weave in some of these in between the leaf and pumpkin picks. And for now, I'm just going to lightly rest them for placement. Then I'll go back and tuck them in a little more securely. And then I totally forgot that I had wanted to add these ginger jars, so I did that off camera because I knew all of my picks were going to go flying. However, I do want to try to add in these candles now, and I can't promise that this is going to end well. Now while I like this, I do see some gaps, and even though I love seeing the little grapevine branches, they're kind of, clustered in certain spots. So I found some more picks. I'm just going to tuck these in randomly, and then I'll end up playing with the lights off camera just so they are a little more balanced. And I have some of these picks as well, even though they've got a little bit of green and the print doesn't really have green. I think that's okay, but some of the other picks do have the green, so I'm just going to tuck these into a few of the bare spots. Also, I want to give this some lift back here and here, and then maybe here. Next, I've got my bag of loose leaves. I used that when I decorated the sunroom last week. It's great to have to just toss in ones where you see even more gaps. And then I also have a few of these which I will gently add in just to give a little contrast with the white pumpkins. Okay, now to do something down here. Normally I put a chair on the left side, but this year I think I'm gonna add this urn along with this really pretty pumpkin that I found last year at Home Goods. Actually, I'm gonna slide it back a little bit. And then layer this beautiful pumpkin here. And then one more right here. And then my go-to beautiful basket filled with birch logs on the other side. I went ahead and added a wreath here below the pumpkin just to give it a little something. And when the cats weren't looking, I hung this beaded garland. I am really hoping that they leave it alone and don't think that it's a toy. Well, friends, that's all for today. Thanks so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed today's video and will consider subscribing to my channel. I'll be back next week to continue qualifying our home, and I'd love for you to join me. Have a great week, and I'll see you next time.